Hey guys, TazManiaAhmed and welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be giving you a talk about Capgemini Assessment Center I recently attended. Well, I actually attended it yesterday, so it's all still fresh in my mind about the process, about what I did and the different tasks that I did. Of course, I don't know yet whether I've got the graduate role, but someone in the assessment center told me that it would be a good idea to tell you all about the process. So here we go. So when I first got to the office in Woking, the first thing was a little meet and greet, and where you'd also tell a fun fact about yourself to the other participants and the assessors in the room. So my only tip there would be just, be confident, say your name, say an interesting fact. Obviously my interesting fact was the fact I had a YouTube channel, which got a few laughs here and there. And then once you have your little icebreaker, the person leading the session tells you about the day, what's the different tasks going to be, and the breakdown. So after that, we then got split into a group where we were in a group assessment, and everyone had a different case study. So there were 7 of us in the group, and each one had one proposal on a different case study. So we'd have to read the case study in 5 minutes and then present back to all the different people in our group for another 20 minutes, where we'd have to discuss which case study and which proposal from the person we'd go ahead with. So the trick here would be to really understand each person's proposal in terms of the cost and the benefit it'd have to the company and the impact it would have to the environment, etc. So once you've done all this, you decide on the one. So I think the best way, my tip would be what our group did, which was to have a vote. So if you have a vote on whose idea is the best, it shows that you're diplomatic and you know what you want to do, and you can work as a team as well. So once you've picked the best idea, you then have about 10 minutes to prepare a pitch which you present back to the assessors. Now at this point, the person leading the assessment said that the time's been cut by 5 minutes, so you only had 5 minutes to do it, which obviously increases the pressure in terms of time. So you have to really work quickly to decide on who's going to be working on what section of the presentation, and then you just present back to the assessors. My only tip there would be to be clear and really understand your point. And obviously they're going to ask you questions after your presentation as well, so just answer it as fully as you can, and just make sure you at least answer once. You're not just there being silent, would be my main tip from that. So after you've done the group assessment, you then have to do 2 micro exercises, which is done on a one-to-one basis with the interviewer. Now these exercises, they're not your traditional maths tests or situation judgment tests. So the one I had was that there was 10 cards, and I had to prioritize in terms of the urgency, which task I do first and which task I do at the end. So you have 2 minutes, you have to go through a set of 10 cards and explain to the interviewer at the same time why you position this card at a certain place. And the second exercise is you have to pretend that you've got the job and you've been given 10 credits to spend in different types of training you can do, such as attending a conference or individual training. So you have to pick out of a pack of 10 cards, 3 cards or whichever makes up the 10 credits that you want to do. So once you pick the cards, you then have to prepare a little presentation, and then you give that back to the interviewer and you tell them about why you picked each card and the benefit it would have to the company. So after you've done the micro exercises, you usually break out for lunch, so you just eat your sandwiches. They had sandwiches from Prep, if that appeals to anyone, so that was quite nice. And then they give you a little graduate overview about the different things you can expect to do in the graduate scheme. So then after you've done that little side of the talk, then you end up in the main interview, where you're once again one-on-one with another interviewer. And this interview lasts about 40 minutes. So in terms of the questions they ask, they'll obviously start with the questions such as why Capgemini, why consulting. So these were the questions I got asked yesterday. My main advice there would be to make sure you've researched the company and you really understand why you want to go into this certain business area, and the different skills that you've done in your previous experiences on what can help you excel in this role. Other questions that I also got asked were a time where I faced a difficult challenge, a time where I set a goal and I achieved it, and also the hardest task I've done in my life. So these are all different questions you can expect to come up, and my only advice would be to make sure you've prepared a experience or something from work or school that you can relate to the question, and give a story. So that would be my main advice, just to give a story and give the answer to the interviewer. So this interview lasts about 40 minutes. You face a lot of different questions. My only other advice would be just to stay calm and believe in yourself. And then at the end of it, obviously the interviewer is going to ask you to ask questions. So this is your opportunity to make sure you ask questions, because if you don't ask questions, they're going to think you're disinterested, you don't want to be here, like you just think they're wasting their time, you're wasting your time as well. So make sure you prepare some interesting questions to ask. You can ask them like the basic ones, like what's the company's challenges for the next year, like what can I expect from this role, the types of different learnings, outcomes, etc, etc. And now, one interesting fact from my interview yesterday was that I researched a question to ask the interviewer, which I found from a YouTube video, and I asked it at the end, and that was, what type of skills and achievements would you have liked me to have to be successful in this role? And when I asked that question, the interviewer was like, wow, I've never heard this question before. And he actually even asked me like, did you yourself come up with that question or did you find it somewhere? And obviously I was going to be honest in that situation. I told him, look, I found it on the internet. So yeah, that's a question I'd actually recommend you guys to ask, because it brought a reaction from him where he was like completely bamboozled is the word. Bamboozled is the word? Yeah, I'll say bamboozled. He was completely bamboozled by it. It took him like a minute to think about what to say. And I think I really left my mark on him till this day. So yeah, guys, I know that's been a lot of information in this video, but that is the breakdown of the Capgemini UK Assessment Centre for a graduate role. If anyone's going there, would like any more tips or any more advices, be sure to comment that below and I'll be able to reply to you guys. And yeah, let's see if I get the job. If not, I'm going to graduate from UC, I'll become a full-time YouTuber and you're going to see videos of me every single week. And one more thing before I end this video. As you guys know, I recently made a video where I said that if the £100 target for water aid was reached, I would go bold. So obviously, as you can see, I'm not yet bold, but that video is coming soon, and I can tell you guys that on April 1st, there will be a new video coming out where my head will be shaved. So that's something to look forward to. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, subscribe and share. Peace.